Hello, as students, I have a question. I just want to start out and ask you all, is it important to you to be a part of change in the world? Or is it more important to you to feel like you want to cause issues or concerns that cause others to want change? I recently actually had to read over the I Have a Dream speech by Martin Luther King. I very much enjoyed it. I learned a lot that I didn't actually know. Some things I had heard, little bits and pieces. Going to school, even as an elementary, we had to do certain homework assignments where I did learn a lot about this speech, but more in depth teaches you a lot more. First and foremost, I want to start out by saying one of the main points that we need to make sure we know about this speech is that, as stated on Prezi.com, there was actually an article titled "The Analysis of the I Have a Dream and the Ballad of the Bullet." And in that article, it states that this speech was directed for the white or Caucasian community. One of the main things he talks about in the beginning is the proclamation, the Emancipation Proclamation. And in this, a lot of Negroes felt like at this point that they were going to get exactly what they needed to be free. They thought that this was that beam of light that they needed to set them free in the world and let them be treated as fairly as other Americans. Well, these wishes weren't quite there for them. Even 100 years later, after it was written, things weren't like they expected them to be, which was very upsetting. Next, he kind of goes into some of the people who were part of the audience. Even though it was directed at Caucasians, some of those people had come from a lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of really difficult situations. Even some of these people had actually been in prison and had actually been slaves. And now we're here to listen to this speech to see exactly what Dr. King had to say and exactly what dreams he had of us, what wishes he had for us, and the things that he were actually pushing for us as a community and as a nation to do to get the freedom we needed. He moves on then, and he talks about some of the dreams that he actually had for this nation. One that stuck out to me that kind of brings a lot to attention that went on with me as a child, is the fact that he feels that his children, as well as the rest of the children, should be judged by the content of their character and not by the color of their skin. Even though we know that this is what's right, in this world today, these things are still actually taking place. And it's very sad because we know right from wrong, but you have some people who may feel like it's not, which is why I asked the question in the beginning, do you prefer to be the part of the problem? Do you prefer to be the part of the solution? There was another article that was titled "The Summary of the Dr. King I Have a Dream speech." And this one stated that Dr. King, even though at this time that the speech was written, it was during the civil rights movement, Dr. King still was for no violence. He didn't want any violence. He wanted everything to be settled in a positive way, where we didn't have to harm each other, didn't have to fight each other. And some of the dreams that he stated lets you know that he dreamed that we could get along with each other, that the kids could play together, no matter what their color were, no matter what their background was, no matter what, because we should all come together, whether on the red hills of Georgia or anywhere else. We should be able to come together as citizens, no matter our color. Now, many of us feel that these are positive things. Many of us don't. I just want to make sure that I'm making clear to you all that reading in depth into a speech is very important, because some of those things that I missed and now I see, it allows me to see how far that I have actually come myself. Now that we understand the purpose of this speech, I want to break down to you some of the things that we may need to understand about ourselves to let us know this speech is part of the conclusion for you, part of the solution for you, or for some people, they may enjoy actually making things a problem. So I just want us to all sit back and think, as students, that it's very important that we not only understand the speeches that we read and analyze them for what they are, because Dr. King's seen us as individual people. He's seen us as individuals that were not judged by the color of our skin. And even today, there are times and moments that we're still fighting for this. Being an African American myself, I actually see this hands-on, and especially being of dark color. I had a lot of situations as a child. So I just want you all to sit back and just think about it, and to determine if you feel that it's important to be part of the problems of this world or part of the solutions. Because one solution that he fought for a very long time ago with no violence was for us to be judged by the content of our character and not by the color of your skin. So which do you choose? Thank you.